about Regina and her recent drug test. This is not me diagnosing Regina or dragging her. This is me simply using a trending gist to educate people about drugs, the way the testing goes, and a few other things that might be important to know. And it's not me talking about what I don't know. Before I went back for my doctorate degree, I had my bachelor's degree in medical lab science. I ran these tests. I did a lot of testing, so I know what I'm talking about. Now, back to the issue at hand. A negative test, like she showed us, does not necessarily say, I don't do drugs. Neither does it say, I am not addicted. What does it say? It simply says that this particular test did not detect certain drugs above the cutoff in a certain window. What does that mean? We will break it down in details. A lot of people are treating hard drugs as a special category. No, in medicine, there's no such thing. It's a social slang. What matters is what drug, how much of it, how often are you taking it? What does it do to your brain? What does it do to your body? What does it do to your life? That is simply what matters. So the issue of hard drugs versus non-hard drugs doesn't really make much sense medically. So let's zero in and focus on the ecstasy and molly, which were mentioned. Okay? Ecstasy and molly are basically the same thing. Ecstasy you will find maybe in a crystal, in a powder form. Molly will be in a tablet form. And they are called methylene dioxymethamphetamine. God will help me not to bite my tongue. But that's the medical term for it. But it's commonly called molly and ecstasy on the streets. It's a psychoactive substance that have stimulant effect and the hallucinogen-like effect. What does that mean? That means it kind of can speed up your brain and yet makes you to be uncoordinated, makes you to feel intense emotions, makes you to feel good at the same time. Let me use a different example so you can understand it. Some of you might say, if it's a stimulant, why are people always, woozy, happy, dull, life is good, they can dance for hours? Think of it like your phone. When you have too many apps open, you're using this, that, and your phone is glitching, is stopping, is not coordinated, is not working because inside the processor is overworking, is doing too many things at the same time, is sped up, is heated up, yet the phone is not acting well. That's one example. Another example, you can also think of it as your generator. It kind of powers the house really quickly and really intensely, but by the time the generator stops, it's complete darkness. Basically, it will take you really high. It will make you feel all manners of stuff. Emotions can be intense. It makes you feel things differently, see life differently, look at things differently. It affects your brain, it affects your body, it affects your life, it affects everything. But when that drug wears off, you crash. You begin to feel anxious. You can even feel depressed. It's reality all over again. And you feel down till you take another hit. So that is how come people get addicted. They want that feeling. They want that euphoria, that intense happiness. Because yes, you'll be happy, but the happiness is not real. It's kind of your brain is being forced to release happiness. It releases it too much, too fast, and then it crashes because whatever you do, you're going to pay for it later. Mind you, it's just like you borrowing money to live a lavish life. You're, spending, going here, going there, doing all these things. But eventually your bank account is empty. And even if you make a little money, you're using it to pay back. So do you see how eventually it messes you up? I don't know if I'm making sense. Let me know if I'm making sense. Because I want to explain this thing to where everybody will understand. This is what these drugs do to you. So that's how you can see somebody, they're not coordinated. They're saying this, they're saying that. They're not acting right. Yeah, they're extremely happy. They're extremely stimulated. They're extremely wired up. Their brain is firing over time. But yet they're woozy. And this molly and ecstasy can do both. What is happening in your brain may not be what is showing in your body. Your brain is overfiring, but you may be like, life is good. You're feeling this euphoria. You're feeling like, oh, you're heavenly. Now, in United States, Molly and ecstasy is Schedule 1. It's considered Schedule 1. What does that mean? It means doctors are not allowed to prescribe it. If you do, they will take your license. Okay? Trust me, I know. Doctors are not allowed to give it to people. People cannot buy it legally. Is it in United States? Yes, it is. But you will find it under controlled environment. That's the only place you can find it. It's not available to general public. It's not available to doctors. They consider it no use medically. See what people are taking to address the insinuation that you're not doing drugs, you're only doing Molly and ecstasy. It's just like you saying, I don't take alcohol, I just drink beer. Or I don't take alcohol, I just take wine. It's the same thing. Psychoactive drug is psychoactive drugs. Mind you, I love Regina. I'm not coming for her, but I think knowledge is important for people to have. After you now have it, what you do with it is up to you. So nobody is deceived. And the deceit on oneself is even worse than deceit to others. Now, Regina is on the right path. For the fact that she's thinking, I need to clear my name is wonderful. For the fact that she's going in that direction is wonderful. All I'm trying to say is that that one test is not enough to say, hey, Regina is okay. I need her to understand that is a continuous lifestyle. Being clean is something you do every single day. The power of addiction is not something you go in 1, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 2, 3 weeks, and you say you're clean. You'll be deceiving yourself. And I don't want that for anybody because I'm using these to talk to anybody who is dealing with drug addiction. Can you schedule a test and come out clean? Yes, it depends on the last time you used it. What kind of test? What kind of sample? Is it urine? Is it blood? Is it hair? What is the dose? What panel was ordered? Because in America, there's something called panels. Like when you test for something, for example, when you take for chemistry, you may not test for everything in the body that needs to be. It's a panel. Maybe they test chlorine, urea, it will be in one panel. In that panel, you may not find something else. So it depends on the panel of drugs that we're taking. There are drug tests that does not include all drugs. It might include heroin, it might include coke, but it may not include some other drugs, and vice versa. So it depends on all these things. There are some that can detect something in just a few days. For example, when you test urine, you may detect maybe 1 to 3 days. Of course, I'm not being exact. When you test blood, it might detect maybe a few days, or even, I think, drug few days, urine maybe 2 to 5 days. But when you take hair, you might be looking into months. So that somebody just scheduled a drug test, you can definitely come out negative. You just have to play your cards right. Just know what not to take at what time and when to do the drug test. Now, let me tell you another thing. In the United States, when they want to test you for drugs, let's say they suspect you're using drugs, they can do that to employees. They can do that. They can just tell you, go here and go take a test, and they're looking for drugs. They can also do that before employment. They don't give you time. They don't let you schedule the time. They can tell you, I've actually had this happen to someone at my place of work. They were ordered to go straight and go take that test. And if they don't go straight, that moment, they get fired. And that's exactly what happened. Because when you schedule it, you can manipulate the result to come out how you want it to come out. So that is it. It depends on what is taken, when it's taken, how much is taken, the panel of tests, and everything else. What am I saying? I'm saying that a urine test, for example, can be negative. It does not mean that you didn't use these drugs. You just didn't use it recent enough. There's other factors involved. There's something called false positives. There's something called false negatives. We won't get too much into that, but just know that the best practice is a screening test, then a confirmatory test if it's consequential, and definitely not the one that is scheduled like that. Now, let's talk about addiction versus non-addiction. That somebody used drugs or uses drugs doesn't mean they're addicted. There are people who do it occasionally, just the same way somebody can smoke maybe a cigarette when they're hanging out with their friends, but they don't go buying cigarette to smoke. So it could be something that is done occasionally. That's why I'm saying in this video, I started with saying I'm not diagnosing her, I'm not saying she's addicted or she's not. I'm just giving you the facts. So somebody using it occasionally doesn't mean they're addicted. Okay? Addiction comes when they can't stop, they have to use it, they start feeling bad when they don't use it, they have strong cravings, it begins to affect their life, it begins to affect their driving, it begins to affect their behavior, it begins to affect the way they think. So many things come together to cause addiction. And that simply means they just can't stop. They're going to need help to stop. They're going to need medical help as well to stop. And it's going to be a lifetime battle. I can give you examples upon examples of many stars in America that have gone to meet their maker that died because of drug overdose. These are powerful people, billionaires, millionaires. They simply can't stop till it took their life. And these people have access to all medical help that they can need. Addiction is very powerful. It's a lifetime battle most of the time, except by the grace of God. There are people who come out of it all the time. You just have to put in the work. And there are people who keep relapsing, relapsing, going back, going back. And there are people who, after a while, they get it right. It can be anything. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not a casual thing. Sobriety is a daily business. You have to be intentional. You have to work on it because it's not easy. Once addicted, it's not easy. I'm sure you probably know other Nigerian actresses, actors that are addicted. You can see what it's doing to them. Do you think they like it? They don't like it. Sometimes they want to stop, but they can't. They can't. And they're not willing to do what it takes to stop because it takes real work to beat addiction. So again, in a nutshell, using does not always mean addicted. Somebody can do something, take that you drink alcohol doesn't mean you're addicted to alcohol. There are people who drink occasionally, they go to a party, they drink, but then there are people that have to drink every day or they start shaking. They can't help it. So now we've cleared about addiction versus non-addiction. Another thing I need to clarify is addiction versus dependence. There are people who take medication every day of their life, and that medication helps them to function. They're dependent on it, but it doesn't cause harm. That's the difference between addiction and dependence. It usually won't cause harm. It actually helps them. But when you talk about addiction, you're looking at negative things. It causes harm to you and to people around you. Actually, this video is getting too long, so I might have to cut it. I have other things to discuss, but maybe in another video. And if you want me to clarify any particular area or go in depth or talk about any particular area, leave it in the comment section and I might make another video. But I just noticed the time and I have to end this video because I don't want it to be too long. But at least we got the takeaway. Don't shame people. Even Regina don't shame her. It's not about shaming people. It's about creating awareness and lending a hand when you can, if you can, especially for people who have taken accountability and want to do better. As long as you're still in denial, it's going to be a little hard to get clean. Mind you, there's a difference between being clean and not using drugs. But anyway, that may be for another video. So thank you for watching. I hope I have been able to clarify a few things. I know there's a lot of confusion going on the social media space. Some people are saying this, some people are saying that. So I hope this video clears it up for people and I hope somebody learns something from this. So once again, it's not to shame Regina. Regina, you're doing well, you're in the right path, and just focus and follow it through and not just dependent on one test result, but on a continuous effort to do better. So once again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow if you haven't already, and more importantly, share this video because people need to know, people need to understand, people need to be educated, awareness needs to be raised. Okay? And until next time, may God bless you. Bye.